in the world of comparisons that we live in right now, if you can, compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terrence Bud Crawford, if you can.
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
What up, what up, what up? It's your boy, back again. Marlo knows basketball and Marlo knows boxing. Back at y'all with another one. I told y'all so. I told y'all so. I said this in 2023, right after Bud Crawford beat Errol Spence the way that he did. I said that he's going to fight Canelo and he's going to beat Canelo. I actually said it ahead of the Jermell Charlo and Canelo fight. I said Bud Crawford was going to fight the winner. And that's exactly what he planned on doing, and that's exactly what he did. And he just made history. And y'all ain't believe me. Y'all said it wasn't possible. No man can jump up 3 weight classes and stand a chance. And then after the way he did Jermell Charlo, y'all really said he don't stand a chance. Because Jermell Charlo got in there and got hit once and was running for his life. But like I told y'all, Jermell Charlo is not on the same planet as Bud Crawford. We talking about a human versus a Super Saiyan. They are not the same animal. And they're not the same beast. Completely different. You know, people tried to minimize Bud Crawford's win over Errol Spence when he completely demolished an undefeated Errol Spence, who was top 4 pound for pound at the time. We never seen a top 4 pound for pound fighter get demolished in such a fashion. And all I heard was excuses talking about car accidents and talking about orbital retinas and whatever you want to talk about to try to minimize it. After the car accident, Errol Spence came back and he destroyed Danny Garcia, beat him dominantly. And then he demolished and stopped Yordenis Ugas, the same Yordenis Ugas who had just beat Manny Pacquiao. So that was Errol Spence. That was who he was. He was just as good as he ever was. And Terrence Crawford made it look easy. That's why y'all diminished the win. Because it wasn't supposed to be that easy. Well, we're not talking about a regular athlete here. We're not talking about a regular fighter. We are talking about a GOAT. One of the greatest fighters ever to live. And in my opinion, after watching that fight and watching him demolish Canelo Alvarez, coming in older than Canelo Alvarez, coming in basically 3 weight classes below him. He had the one fight against Madrimov at 154 and went all the way up to 168. We've never seen anything like this before. Nobody gave this man a chance. Everybody said that he was going to go out like Charlo. Floyd Mayweather, on the other hand, fought Canelo Alvarez at a weight that Floyd had already fought at. And to make matters worse, he brought Canelo down to a catch weight of 152. Which I didn't understand because Floyd fought Oscar De La Hoya and he fought Miguel Cotto at the full junior middleweight weight of 154. But for some reason, he had Canelo come down to 152. I think he had a little bit of fear. Yeah, Floyd, he made it. He made it a easy night, defensively. That's because Canelo couldn't hit him. But people said that Bud Crawford wouldn't be able to do that because Bud Crawford's defense isn't as good as Floyd Mayweather's. They bring up the fact that Bud Crawford got hurt by Gamboa, maybe dropped by Mean Machine. Maybe they didn't call it a knockdown, but it was pretty much a knockdown. With ignoring the fact that Floyd himself got dropped by Zab Judah, and they didn't call that a knockdown. Floyd clearly got dropped by Zab Judah. Glove touched the canvas at the end of a punch. That's a knockdown, but they didn't call it. Floyd clearly got hurt and almost stopped by Shane Mosley. People forget. Ain't nobody perfect. I'm not saying that Bud Crawford's defense is as good as Floyd Mayweather's. Obviously, it's not. But his offense is way better. And he was able to carry his power up multiple weight classes. Floyd Mayweather, his power stopped at 140. Bud Crawford, after what he did in demolishing Spence, what he did in demolishing Sean Porter, Kell Brook, the list goes on and on and on. Jeff Horn, he carried his power up all the way to 147 and was still stopping fools. Bud Crawford is better all time than Floyd Mayweather. Yes, Floyd Mayweather might be the greatest defensive fighter of all time, but Bud Crawford has the offense and the defense. Bud Crawford's offense is a 10. A 10. His defense might be an 8. Floyd Mayweather's defense is a 10. Once he got up and weight and moved all the way up to 147, 154, his offense was a 7 because he didn't carry that power. Nobody respected Floyd's power. That's the difference between Bud Crawford and Floyd Mayweather. Clearly, Bud Crawford has surpassed Floyd Mayweather. And like I said, Bud Crawford's never come close to losing. That first fight against Jose Luis Castillo, I felt like Floyd Mayweather lost that fight. But that's a story for another day. Bud Crawford ain't never came close to losing. But next on the docket is Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao, who was supposed to fight Bud Crawford, but Bob Arum made sure that the DuckTales was in motion. Manny Pacquiao might not have ducked him if it was up to him. If it was up to Manny Pacquiao, he would have fought Bud Crawford. But I feel like Bob Arum seen what Bud Crawford is. He's an alien. He's not from this planet. There's few like him. You got guys like Babe Ruth, guys like Wayne Gretzky, Muhammad Ali, Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, women like Serena Williams, Clarissa Shields, people that are not of this earth. They do things that aren't supposed to be done. And Bob Arum saw that. He saw how good Terrence Crawford was, and he knew Manny Pacquiao didn't stand a chance. Didn't stand a snowball's chance in hell. Bud Crawford would have demolished Manny Pacquiao. He went the right route by challenging Keith Thurman instead of Bud Crawford. Because Bud Crawford would have stumped a mud hole. People love to talk about how Manny Pacquiao is an 8 division champion and he moved up from flyweight all the way to junior middleweight. I mean, yeah, it's impressive, but he didn't go all the way up to junior middleweight. He went to 150. That fight against Margarito was at a catch weight of 150. It wasn't at 154. It was at 150. Manny Pacquiao moved up from flyweight to 150. That's impressive. But what's more impressive than that is Roy Jones going from junior middleweight to heavyweight. So we seen that before. We seen weight jumpers before. But Manny Pacquiao has never been undisputed in any weight class. And neither has Floyd Mayweather. They've never been undisputed. Now Bud Crawford has done it in 3 different weight classes. Undisputed. Collected all 4 belts. And Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, they existed in the 3-belt era. They existed before it was a 4-belt era. And they still didn't do it. They never collected 3 belts. They never even collected 3 belts. He's collected 4. Bud Crawford has collected 4 in 3 different weight divisions now. And then you want to talk about Manny Pacquiao and everything that's good, but you also got to talk about them 7 losses. You also got to talk about the fact that Manny Pacquiao has been knocked out 3 times. 3. Count them. 1, 2, 3. He's been knocked out 3 times. Bud Crawford has never come close to losing a fight. Bud Crawford is better all time than Manny Pacquiao. Some of y'all might be saying, like, Marlo, what are you trying to say? Are you saying that Bud Crawford is the GOAT? Absolutely not. The GOAT is Muhammad Ali, and it's going to remain Muhammad Ali until we see something more spectacular. After what Bud has done, it's pretty spectacular. But can I call the win over Canelo the greatest win in boxing history? I don't know. Muhammad Ali beat a 39-0. No, he beat a 40-0, 39 knockout George Foreman. The man looked like the Terminator. For all my fans of the Rocky franchise, he was the Russian guy Ivan Drago on steroids. People thought people thought Ali was gonna get killed in the ring. They didn't think he stood a chance. They thought he was gonna go out like Apollo Creed and Rocky IV. They thought he was gonna die right there. Not only did Muhammad Ali win that fight, he knocked George Foreman out. Knocked him out. I know people love to talk about Ken Norton and they love to talk about Joe Frazier. Yeah, Muhammad Ali might have lost to Ken Norton and Joe Frazier, but what you don't talk about is he fought both of those guys 3 times each. And he came back and beat Joe Frazier twice. He came back and beat Ken Norton twice. 3-time undisputed heavyweight champion. Muhammad Ali's beat more Hall of Famers than anybody. Made Sonny Liston look like a joke when he was the big bad wolf. Made the legend Floyd Patterson look like an amateur. Muhammad Ali is the GOAT not only because of his impact, which he's had the biggest impact on boxing, the biggest icon, arguably the biggest icon in sports history. Muhammad Ali. When Muhammad Ali was on top, boxing was the most popular sport in the world. And it wasn't even close. Muhammad Ali's impact, his resume, the Hall of Famers that he's beat, the times that he was an underdog. He was an underdog against Sonny Liston. He was an underdog against George Foreman, a huge underdog. Not only does he win these fights, he stopped them. Ali's the GOAT. And I don't want to hear anybody say otherwise. Then you got to talk about the guy that Muhammad Ali got his style from. His footwork, his hand speed. Everything that Muhammad Ali did in the ring was based on Sugar Ray Robinson. Sugar Ray Robinson was 109-1 before he lost his second fight. I can't put Bud Crawford over Sugar Ray Robinson either. So that's 2 guys right there that I can't put Bud Crawford over. That Muhammad Ali and Sugar Ray Robinson. And there is a third as well. Homicide Hank. Henry Armstrong. I can't put Bud Crawford over Henry Armstrong. Just for the simple fact, not only 151 wins, 101 KOs, but the man was undisputed in 3 weight classes simultaneously. What we just watched Bud Crawford do on 3 separate occasions, Henry Armstrong did it all at the same time. And to add insult to injury, there were only 8 weight classes when he did it. So there's 8 weight classes in the whole entire sport of boxing. And Homicide Hank, Henry Armstrong, was undisputed champion in 3 of the 8 weight classes. The closest thing we've ever had to having just one single champion in the entire sport. So I can't put Bud Crawford over him either. But what I will say is this. The fact that Terrence Bud Crawford has reached the pantheon of the Henry Armstrongs, the Sugar Ray Robinsons, the Muhammad Alis. I've never seen a fighter that you can legitimately make an argument for him being up there with these greats. He's mythical at this point. Henry Armstrong, it's almost like he didn't even exist, the things he did. It's like, how can somebody be undisputed champion simultaneously in 3 weight classes at the same time? That's not possible. Bud Crawford just did the impossible. Nobody thought that he could go up 3 weight classes and destroy, not only beat Canelo, but dominate Canelo the way he did. It's mythical. It's almost like he's not even human. Like he's from a different planet. And that's the same thing people thought about Muhammad Ali. When he beat Sonny Liston the way he did, Sonny Liston was dang near unbeatable when he did that. George Foreman was unbeatable. 40-0 with 39 knockouts. Just running through people. And Muhammad Ali was able to knock him out. But, hey man, when it comes to these aliens and these athletes that are superhuman, they love for you to say that something's impossible and they can't do something.
I also think he's one of those guys that if you tell him he can't do something, he wants to show you and shock the world.
1,000%. Absolutely right.